This is the fourth video in our mini-series all about 20 bar exam time management tips. And we've broken up our videos based upon what our tips are in regard to. So in this video, we're going to be giving you 4 specific time management tips as it relates to your essay practice. So our first tip for you is that you should focus on the highly tested areas of law. And I probably sound like a broken record now if you've listened to this whole mini series. But honestly, it's such a good piece of advice. It's worth the risk that I sound like a broken record. It truly will save you time, and you're simultaneously maximizing your chances of success, which is, of course, the goal, to pass the bar exam. So let me dive deeper into this tip. When I say you should focus on those highly tested subjects and then focus on the highly tested topics within each subject. So to be clear, I'm not telling you to ignore any given subject or topic within a subject. No, I'm telling you to prioritize. So you're going to review every subject, but I would just order them in a way that makes sense, focusing on those highly tested subjects on the essay portion first, kind of working your way to those subjects that are just not that highly tested. Again, you're covering them, you're just prioritizing. And then when you review each subject, you're focusing on those highly tested rules or topics within that subject. Because again, your goal is not to know every single testable rule within each subject for the bar. And in fact, if you cast that wide of a net, you're likely not going to do that well on the bar. Remember, you have to learn how to take this test, and certain rules are more highly tested than others. So if you focus your energy on those highly tested topics within a subject, you're maximizing your chances of success. So where can you find out what's highly tested? We have multiple options for you. We have a frequency chart that shows you which subjects are highly tested. As it relates to the topics within each subject, we have a free MEE guide. If you're looking to spend a little bit of money, we have MEE one sheets that illustrate the highly tested topics within each testable subject. So be sure to check out those resources on our website if you're not already familiar with them. Our next tip is to get through more practice essays in, of course, a shorter period of time, because we're talking about time management tips here. Get in the habit of bulleting essays on a regular basis. So again, I really want to approach this tip specifically with a little bit of caution to make sure you understand what I'm trying to communicate. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't write out essays. You definitely should. And in fact, this tip I'm giving you to bullet point essays is really best when you have some full-blown essay writing practice under your belt. Most people can start implementing this tip kind of in the midway portion of bar prep, or even just towards more of the tail end. We find this super valuable because it can help you get a lot of exposure to how they like to test issues. That way there are less surprises on bar exam day, because we know they like to test subjects and the topics within each subject in very predictable ways. But it's really nice to have a faster approach to writing out essays than, say, the 30 minutes or so it takes you to read and write a question, plus the time it would take to self-grade it. So of course you need to do that. You need to devote actual time to writing essays. But as you have some good practice under your belt and you're trying to get yourself more exposure to how they test different subjects or topics within a subject, consider just bulleting out an essay. So reading it and actually bulleting what you would write instead of writing out full-blown sentences and paragraphs in response to it. Now, if you find yourself tempted to just read a question and an answer and you're skipping the in-between part, the actual responding to an essay, don't do that. You're cutting too much out of the process and unfortunately leaving too much value. You're not going to get enough out of it. Our next tip is to get through more essays, and of course, therefore, to help you out with your timing here, try answering questions in less than the 30 minutes that you'll actually have to do so. Or if you have more time because of accommodations, or if you're taking a bar exam that just gives you a different amount of time for each essay, fine, this tip still works. But my general parameters here that I'm talking about is if you're taking the MEE without accommodations. So generally you have 30 minutes to read and respond to a question. And what we recommend you do is get in the habit of giving yourself less time to get the work done. This not only will make your essays better, because we find that if you do this regularly and you utilize those extra few minutes to maybe go back to your fact pattern and add a little bit more to your analysis, or to reread your answer to make sure it sounds good or that you don't have any glaring issues, that's going to lead to a higher scoring exam generally. But this, by working faster, will also speed you up and therefore really make sure you're not going to have any time management issues as it relates to bar exam day, because you don't want to run out of time. And it can also speed you up during practice, which again is nice. It's giving you an extra cushion of time. And our final tip here with time management as it relates to the essays is be smart about the essays in which you choose to complete. So for example, in the world of torts, you're going to write out essays, I would hope, in preparation for the essay portion of your exam. And when it comes to the MEE and torts generally, the examiners like to test negligence, proximate cause, vicarious liability, strict products liability, as well as battery. So we would recommend, if you're going to write out, say, 5 torts essays, write out an essay on each of those, topics that are highly tested, rather than writing out 5 essays on just negligence and not giving yourself exposure to the rest. Again, this is a tip that will not only make sure you're not spending too much time on one topic and therefore kind of wasting time, because you'll have to go back and, I hope, get yourself well versed with those other essays, but it's also maximizing your chances of success here by giving you lots of exposure, showing you how they like to test different things, and then you could bullet essays on any given topic that you've already written out a full essay to. So instead of writing 5 essays on negligence, you could write 1 and bullet a few as well. This way, again, you're saving some time. So those are our tips for time management as it relates to essay practice.